Hi guys, how is everybody tonight? I say night because it's about 10:30 my time. I told you guys that I wanted to try to squeeze in at least one, maybe two more Christmas pictures. Tonight's going to be a short recording. I'm probably just going to do a small section and then come back and do it. I can't stay up too late tonight recording it because in the morning they bumped Xander's procedure up until Friday. It was going to be on Christmas Eve, which was just like, ugh, I don't want to ruin this kid's Christmas. So he's going to go in for his endoscopy tomorrow morning. So hopefully they'll find out what's going on with his tummy problems. So anyway, I'm going to be coloring a page in Johanna Basford's Christmas book. This book I got, as you can see, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, I got from Book Outlet. When I got it from Book Outlet, it was around last year, Christmas time. I think I paid like $5 or $6 for it. If you're in the States or in Canada, Book Outlet is awesome. I did check them out, and they don't have this book. Right now, they have Ivy and the Inky Butterfly and Lost Ocean is the two Johanna Basford books they have for around $7. But okay, enough jabber. Let's go ahead and dive in. So this is the picture that I picked out. They're perforated, so I'm trying not to press too hard because then sometimes they fall out of the book. But what's nice about this is the backs are just like a wallpaper kind of thing, so you can use them single-sided if you wanted to. Okay, I'm going to get a piece of my scrap paper out here. Throw that in, even though it's not as big as the book, but no problem. So today I think I'm just going to work on Mr. Rudolph here, and I might work on some of these poinsettias on his body. And then that's probably where I'm going to stop at. If the lighting's funny, you guys, I do apologize. I rearranged my art room again, and I still can't get my lighting right. And I've been playing around with it, hoping that I don't get too many shadows, but we're just going to chug along and see how it is. Okay, so I'm going to zoom this in a little bit. So I don't know if you guys seen my review of the Zenacolor pencils. I'll put a link to that video down below. I really like those pencils, and that's what I'm going to be using on this page. I find that in Johanna's books, they work really nicely. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start out. You guys know me. I always go dark to light. So I'm going to start out with this coffee, number 118. And we're just going to do the dark parts of Mr. Rudolph here. So I'm going to start down here. Now there's like a lot of leaves and things like that. So that's where you're going to find a lot of shadows. And I'm just going to go pretty light because these pencils, although they're pretty soft, they're really nice to layer and blend with. But we're going to put some shadow here underneath these leaves and around his, we're going to call it an elbow, you know, the bendy part of his leg there. And we're just going to kind of go around and darken him up a little bit around the edge here. When I was looking at this page, I was having a difficult time with this area because I was not computing in my brain that this was just a stem and not actually a holly leaf. So yeah, I was just like, man, what the heck is that? And then I figured it out. It took me a bit. Just my brain just did not want to compute that. Okay, we're going to go in over here. You know, with these, and I guess it kind of would have been easier if I colored the whole inside, but I wanted to start off with the reindeer just because he's kind of the focal point of the whole thing, you know, and I really didn't want to go that dark right there, but it's not a problem. Okay, and so over here, I'm going to kind of go dark here. Up here, though, I'm going to leave a little gap, and you guys will see what I mean once I get into it, I'm going to leave a little gap though to kind of have like that highlight area right on his back. I'm just leaving a little gap from the dark and then the line that's already there. And if you forget, like if you do it like this and you forget that line, don't even worry about it, because that's something that you can always go in later with your Jelly Roll pen or your Posca, and you can, just add that in. All right, so let's go right around his little booty here. That kind of dark. And then I want to do just the side of his little stubby tail. Okay, and then we're going to come up here, and right where his little muzzle is, we're going to darken that up. And then I hate turning my book on you guys, but I need to get my hands probably in the way, but I try. Doesn't always work, but I try. So I can probably zoom in just a little bit more so you guys can see it a little bit better. Okay, so then I'm going to kind of come up in this ear part here, like this, and then we'll do, we're going to do like the inside part of the ear, like that. Just making this up as I go. Okay. Oh, let's do his leg down here. I almost forgot that. Do you guys do that? Do you guys color a picture and then just forget, a hand or something that you at the end you're like, oh crap, I forgot to color that. I do that stuff all the time and it drives me crazy. Okay, so the next color that I'm going to use is this saddle brown. It's number 114, and I'm just going to kind of blend over what I already did, and then I'm going to just bring it out just a little bit. And I do, you guys, I do color slow. So I said, I say that it's going to be a short video, but really it's going to be short because it's only going to be a small section. Kind of want to go a little darker around this hoof area. Okay, and then over here in this section, there's not going to be a lot of light colors. Maybe like in the center where the leg kind of meets in the middle. But a lot of it's going to be pretty dark because you have all these leaves here and it kind of gets muddied up. And if you do it, don't stress about all those darks and lights, and heck, you don't need to stress about them at all. Just color it however you want, or grab some markers and have fun. And what I like doing is just, I like sandwiching colors. I have some pictures where, I really concentrate on the light source and, if the light's coming from this way or this way, but sometimes when I just want to color because I want to color, I don't worry about that stuff. I kind of sandwich, so I go dark, dark, medium, medium, and I just kind of bring them all into the middle. So again, I'm just kind of layering these as I blend, and I'll probably kind of come back and go over some of the areas again, just to kind of darken up some areas that I think need it. We're going to put some dark around here. And I'm not putting dark around all these leaves, just some of them, just to kind of give it added dimension. Come up on this tail a little bit. Now I'm going to leave a lot of the tail a little lighter because if you ever seen, oh excuse me, a deer's tail, they're kind of always white-ish. See, here's another area. So that's a stem, that's a leaf. We're going to go ahead and, I want to say this was part of a leaf here that I colored. I don't know, doesn't matter. So when Amazon was having their sale on their little Echo dots, I went ahead and I got 2 of them for my youngest boys. They love audiobooks. Oh my God, they love, especially my little one. Xander loves to read. He takes after his mom, but they really like audiobooks and they love music. That's something that I always have kind of going in the house is some kind of music. And so I went ahead and I got them each one of those for Christmas. Blaze, of course, didn't want that. He wanted a new PlayStation game. Because, see, in my house, Santa brings them gifts, but mom and dad always give them one special gift. So that was their special gift from mom and dad this year. And Xander was giving me a hard time about going to the doctor because they kind of, I don't know, they explained to him what they were going to do. And I think that it freaked him out a little bit that they were going to put him to sleep and that he was going to be asleep and they were going to stick this little camera down his throat and then they were going to take little bitty chunks of him to biopsy just to make sure he was healthy. And like I seen it on his face that he was kind of like, oh yeah, nope, we're not going. I'm going to add some dark up here. So today I made a deal with him and because he was like, Mom, we're not going. Nope. So I kind of made a deal with him today that if he went and he was brave, that when we came home, him and his brothers could have their special gifts from mom and dad today. And so that kind of coaxed him a little bit faster into going. He still is very hesitant, but we'll see. We'll see how tomorrow goes. I mean, regardless of how he feels, he needs to go so we can find out what's going on with his little tummy. I'm just going to do a little bit here because this stomach part here, I'm going to do lighter just to make it look like the belly area. Let's see, I'm going to go a little darker in here. Do any of you guys have an issue coloring on Johanna's paper? I find that I have to only use certain pencils. Like, only certain pencils work for me in these books. And I don't know why. Like, it should, I don't know. Maybe it's just me because, well, I'm just a complicated kind of person, apparently. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use this bronze color. It is number 107. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go over each section all the way down to the dark and bring that together. Now, I chose bronze, and, you know, it's kind of an orangey-ish color. But when when you look at deer, around here, hunting is huge. So you always see deer, even when you're driving, and that's just scary. But they always have like this, to me, this kind of oranginess to them. So I kind of wanted to bring in that orange color just a little bit. I am going to use, I told you guys that I was using the Zenas on this picture. I am going to use one Prismacolor pencil because in the Zenas there was not like a cream color that I liked. Like they have what they consider creams, but to me they were a little bit too yellow for what I wanted. So I just went ahead and I grabbed my Prisma cream because I like that color, and for what I was going to do with it, you know, it worked really well for me. So that is the one color that I grabbed. All these little sections take a while because you're working around every little leaf and swirl and berries and flowers. I have been lately, and I was never like this before. Before I always liked to choose, I don't want to say simpler pictures, but pictures that didn't have a lot of detail. And I think it was because I liked that instant gratification where I can color it. It didn't take me, you know, weeks to finish. Um, and like even like I love Kirby pictures, but I always found myself choosing the ones that didn't have the most detail. But lately I've been finding myself wanting that detail, wanting that just that little bit extra. So I'm kind of getting more patient with especially with this one, um, working around all these little bits and not getting like, oh my God, am I done yet? Because that's how I always was. I'm like, oh my God, like I was just like, okay, I'm almost done. And I found myself when I was, you know, at that point, that almost done point, rushing through to get it done. Like I just wanted it done. And so now I try to not do that and just know that if I took my time and um, relax while I was doing it, that it wouldn't be, it would turn out better, like the outcome would be better. Okay, so right around his eye here, I want to leave it light. So I'm going to kind of try to make, let's see if I can do this without, you know, oh, I went a little close there, but that's okay. So I really don't want to draw it in. And then I want to kind of leave a, like a light cheek area. Now I'm going to go back in. Well, I'll go back in a little bit with that. But I do want to go back in with the saddle brown, and I want to bring that out just a little bit more. So now I'm going to go in with the jasmine. And I don't know if you guys can see here. The jasmine is not like a Prismacolor jasmine. It's more like a goldish brown color in the Zenas. So I'm going to kind of go in and blend all of that together. Fill in all those little gaps. And then that's going to be my base layer for my picture. And for the tail here, I'm just going to kind of bring it out a little bit and then just leave that white show through. Because I'm going to come back and I'm going to add cream to that section. I have to say that these, for being a budget pencil, I really like how they blend. I like how they layer because they are creamy yet hard. And you guys know that I don't like to compare pencils to pencils. This is another one where I'm going to leave just a light line there to add some of that cream color. But yeah, I don't like to compare pencils to pencils, but these are so nice, especially in this book. And I found that they work, I really like them in the, oh, what's the Eerie books, the romantic country books, because I struggle with that paper, especially with Prismas. I just cannot get them to color in that book. So with these, I found that the paper takes it very well, and I don't feel like I'm struggling at all. On this little stomach area, I'm just going to draw like a line. So then that's, you know, the really light section of it. And then around the eye, I'm not going to use the jasmine. I'm going to go in with the Prismacolor cream again. I'm just trying to give this some dimension with the different colors. Okay, so I'm going to take this cream, and it's a little one, and I'm just going to kind of go around the eye. And the jasmine, I kind of put the jasmine around the layers where I wanted to put the cream, because to me it kind of acts like a buffer between the cream and the browns. I'm only using this in a couple of spots. I'm going to put it right up here where I left that little light line. Okay, so from here, I'm just going to rinse and repeat. I'm going to go back from my darks, back to my lights. And you guys probably don't want to watch this part, so I'll probably fast forward it just to not have you guys sit through the pain of watching me do it all over again. So I will see you all in just a little bit. Okay, sorry, I had to stop the recording and go help Xander, and now I am able to come back. Okay, so with these antlers, I'm going to go ahead and take that coffee, that dark color, and I'm going to go just at the base of these and kind of, it's like, you know, the part that's connected to the head. So I'm just going to darken that part up there. And then I'm going to take this saddle brown color, and I have it pretty sharp because what I want to do is I just want to do some lines. Like, I don't know, the antlers here, they have, you know, these like little, especially when you find them, they have these little brown lines through them. You know, they're really almost like a cream color, but they always have these brown markings going through them. So that's kind of what I want to do here. And most of the time they're not straight, and some of them overlap, and I just want to give it that effect. It doesn't have to be perfect, just something. So then I'm going to go in with this jasmine, and I'm just going to go real light around the edges because I want to keep them that real light cream color, but this jasmine will kind of give that cream a little bit of dimension. So I'm just going to kind of go around the whole thing. And where they overlap, I'm going to make it just a little bit darker down in those areas to act as a shadow. I might even come back in with that saddle brown again and just darken up those shadow areas. But for now, I'm just going to use this color, and afterwards see what I like, see what I don't like. Okay, so I'm going to go back in with this cream, and I'm going to go a little bit firmer pressure here. And I know it's going to turn out more yellow, but what I'd like to do is go then over it at the end with some white, just to kind of blend that in a little bit and to make it a little lighter and not so yellow. So, I mean, that's pretty much all that I'm going to do to those. Like I said, I might take this saddle brown and just right where these kind of cross, just put a little bit in there to darken that up. Just like that. And then I'll go back in with the cream and just blend that out so it's not so harsh. Okay, so there's that. Now I've been going back and forth on what I want to do. I know that this point's out of here. Of course, I'm going to do it red. But looking at all this, so, I mean, the poinsettia is going to be red in the berries, and of course Rudolph's little nose. But I've been trying to figure out what I want to do with the leaves. The holly leaves, I know what I want to do with these bare leaves. I think I'm going to color and along with these two. They're all going to be like the same color green. It's these ivy looking leaves that I'm trying to decide on what I want to do with them. If I want to take it to a different color green or maybe keep them red. I don't know. So the leaf part I'm going to hold off on until I can figure out what exactly I want to do, because I don't want there to be just red here and in the berries and the notes and then the rest green. I'm not sure if I would like that effect or not. I don't know. Like I said, we'll see. So for the reds, I decided that I'm going to use Burgundy 108. I think I have so many colors here, I don't even know. I think I'm going to go the Cardinal Red, the 110. And we're going to do, I think this one, the Dark Red 72. And then this one, which is, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correct way, Cerise, which is 69. And I pulled out this maroon. This is 113. I pulled this one out just for like the super dark shadowy areas, I think this is what I'm going to use, but I don't know. So that's kind of one of those ones I set to the side as a maybe. Okay, so we're gonna work on this poinsettia here. I love poinsettias. Poinsettias is my birthday flower. But I just love I was actually deciding what color I wanted to color the poinsettias on this. Because poinsettias you can get in white. I shouldn't even say white. Because I don't know about you guys, but the white ones to me have like that greenish tint to them. But then they have the pink ones, like they have a lot of different colored ones now. But the traditional ones are, you know, the red, and some of them are like really deep red, almost a dark purple kind of looking color, or a maroon. Some of them are, you know, the brighter reds. Even when you just get one of the pots of um, the poinsettias, there is a lot of different shades in them. I always find those to be interesting. Okay, so that was the burgundy. Let's go this cardinal red next. Just kind of work that up. I also like Christmas cactuses, except for, now I said it before, like I'm really good with houseplants. I can get almost anything to grow. A lot of my family and friends know that they're going to buy me a gift, if it's not art slash color related, then get me a house plant, because that makes me just as happy. But I cannot ever, ever get a Christmas cactus to bloom. Just, it's not happening for me. So that's on my bucket list, is because I want to get one of those to bloom for me. Dark red. And I picked this dark red color because in the Zenas, the dark red is kind of, it kind of has this, I don't want to say pink, because it's not really pink, but it has this, like a magenta-y undertone to it. Like it's not a true red, like what we think of red, or what I think of red when I think of a red. But I think it just gives it that like poinsettia feel of being a different shade. And as you guys can see, like I'm not coloring them all the same. I'm leaving different highlight areas. At least I'm trying to. And that's kind of why I picked that maroon color, because it gives me that feel of, especially like the veins in poinsettias. And I know this one doesn't have it, but now I want to switch to my lightest. But it kind of gives me that feeling of those dark, deep veins that run through them. And this is kind of like a light pink. I know you can't tell right now because I haven't gone over everything again. But it's, you're not really going to tell the difference. Like I know that it's there, and that satisfies me. So then again, I'm just going, oh, these pencils. I really like these pencils a lot, and I said it in my review video that the one thing about these pencils is you have to sharpen them. Kind of, they work better when you sharpen them with the short points. And I know this, like in my brain, I know this. I said it, I've tested it out. And when I was picking out the pencils to do this page, and I was like, oh, I like this color and I like that color. Well, instead of picking up, for my short sharpening, I like to use the Faber Castell, this little trio sharpener. But instead of doing that, I pulled out my little Deli sharpener, my hand crank one, and it sharpens them pretty long. And so at that point, it's like, well, I'm not going to sit there and resharpen them to get them a smaller point, because then it just kind of uses up more of the lead. So I said, well, we're going to see what happens. And so far they're okay, but the tips keep breaking off on me just a little bit. And, that was the issue. That's why I said when you sharpen them, and, sharpening them with the little short points is better, a lot better for your pencils anyway. It doesn't put as much stress on your lead. To me, I get less breakage in the core as it goes on. I don't get as much breakage as I do when I sharpen them long, because, with all the pressure, it's kind of one of those, what do you call it? You get one of those effects where, it's long, so you're going to keep pushing pressure on this, which eventually is like, it's like bending all of this in here. And so like the core of it then kind of gets a little bit weaker. And again, my opinion. So I started sharpening certain brands of my pencils just a little bit shorter. So then this way I felt like my pencils were breaking a lot less often, which I was appreciative of. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to do this flower. We are going to go and we're going to do those berries and his little nose. And I think that I'm going to call it a day on this. I'm going to try to record again tomorrow if everything goes good with Xander. I'm going to record tomorrow another section of this, and hopefully we can get some more done on that. This might be, I'm hoping I can get it done in 3 sessions, hoping. I would go on and do more tonight, but I know I need to get to bed because I have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to make sure that everything's ready, even though I got it all ready tonight. But, you always forget something when you think you're prepared. Yeah, that's me. Okay, I am going to go ahead, and if I can find it, I know I put it up here. Might have rolled. There it goes. I am going to go ahead with this maroon, and I'm just going to add a little bit in just to give it that dimension. And I want to go in and make like my own veins. I'm not going to, but I want to. But I know that I would epically fail at that. So yeah, why ruin a beautiful picture? And I would probably also come in with a dark brown and just add a couple more shadows, especially to the petals that are underneath. Just add a few more shadows. Now I want to go back in with that burgundy. Where are you? There you are. And we're just going to blend that in real quick. Real light. Okay, so there is the little poinsettia. So with I'm going to use the dark, is it dark red? No, the cardinal red. I want to use the cardinal red. Cardinal red is what I'm going to do the base of these berries in. I'm just kind of making like little half circles with it, because I don't want them really dark. I want them bright and cheery. Holly berries. See, I knew that eventually it would come to me. I have to look real quick to make sure I got them all. All right, so we're going to go, so I went cardinal red, and I'm going to skip over the dark red and just go to the cerise color. And I'm going to add that in, leaving just a little bit of that white, if I can. If not, that's okay too. And you guys can't even probably see the little bit of white that I'm leaving. Okay, so there's my berries, and now we're going to work on his nose. Now, when I think of Rudolph's nose, I think of it nice and bright. So I'm going to go to the dark red. Yeah. And I'm going to do it the same way that I kind of did the berries. So I'm going to kind of go around the base here. But I'm going to do it on the left side of it. And I'm going to take the cerise. I'm just going to go like this and leave that little white area right there. Let me see if you guys can see that. So I got this little white area here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to highlight that with like a Posca or a gel pen, probably, yeah, probably this one. Let me see if I can get my hands all jelly rolled again. I just want to put a little bit of shine on there. So this way it looks like it's shining. Now I am going to come back to this eye. I'm not quite sure what I want to do because, let me grab a piece of paper here and I'll show you. So, you know, now I'm not, you guys, I'm not the greatest artist, but you know, deer's eyes are kind of almond shaped like this, and then they have that little thing that sticks out, and most of the whole eye is black except for there's one white dot in the center. So I don't know if that's what I want to do, you know, make that almond shaped eye with that little thing. I'm undecided just because it has a lid on it. It has a couple of other things. I might just work with that and just do dark colors. I'm not sure. But yeah, so for tonight, that's what I'm going to do. We're going to come back. We're going to do the inside of the flower, at least do the leaves inside of him. I might do the outside of the circle with some of the filigree in it, and then we can come back and do all the, again, the poinsettias, the leaves, because a lot of that, once I figure out what I want to do in here, especially with these little ivy leaves, then it's just, you know, mirroring it on all these leaves. Okay, so that's as far as we're going to get tonight, guys. Hopefully you guys will join me in this color along, or just watch and enjoy and get some ideas. Happy holidays to all of you, and thanks for watching. Remember to like, and if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Bye.